여러분 반갑습니다. I'm Kwon So-hwa and this is K-Culture Dive. Join us in exploring everything in Korean culture, from K-entertainment to AI news, K-culture on site, and we'll have a K-beauty chat with our Hallyu People guest today. And we're going to dive into all of that alongside Walter Lee here this Wednesday. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Soa, and hello to everyone joining us on K-Culture Dive. Today, I'm Walter Lee, here to co-host and bring you the latest in K-entertainment stories.
And before we do that, Walter, may I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
What's the most recent book that you've read?
Oh, good question. I read it last week. It's the Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse's second book. It's such a beautiful book. I recommend it.
I think you actually recommended that to me as well.
Yes.
But yeah, it's interesting that you actually mentioned an international book. So why am I talking about books? It's because we are going to go over to an international book event where our reporter Yoon Se-young is on standby. So books may seem old-fashioned in today's world of AI, social media, and short-form videos. But one event in Seoul shows that books still matter. The 2026 Seoul International Book Fair opens today, or has opened, at COEX, bringing together readers, authors, and publishers from around the world. So for more, let's go live to our reporter Yoon Se-young at the venue. Se-young!
Hi, Soa. I'm here at COEX in Seoul, where 2026 Seoul International Book Fair has just opened its doors. And the fair is drawing strong interest once again this year, with advanced tickets selling out, and the organizers are expecting over 150,000 visitors over the course of the event. And behind me, you will see a lot of people just lining up and looking for booths they are interested in. This year, the theme of the fair is 인간 선언 Homo 주두리, or the human who questions. So at a time where artificial intelligence can provide us with answers in just seconds, the fair is inviting the visitors to consider a different approach. What kind of questions should humans be asking? And that idea brings together the writers, publishers, and thinkers from Korea and around the world to discuss literature, the future of the knowledge, and creativity at the same time. And this year, the guest of honor is France. So a lot of French authors and publishers and cultural events will take center of the stage. And the visitors can also take part in different exhibitions and cultural events. And also, they can look forward to some adorable goods and merchandise they're looking for. And, you know, this event also reflects a growing trend here in Korea, what is known as text hit trend. Younger generations, especially those in their 20s and 30s, have embraced reading and collecting books and engaging with literary culture, have become a part of their self-expression and personal identity. And these days, I can also see the growing interest in Korean literature from different countries as well, especially after author Han Kang's Nobel Prize win in literature. So here today, I want to speak with one of the international visitors here from a French publishing company. Hi.
Hi, very nice to be here. Thank you. My name is Marie-Pierre Grassedieu. I'm a French publisher based in Marseille. We launched a publishing house 5 years ago, and we are very interested in Asian literature. We already publish a Japanese author, but we are really searching for a Korean voice, and that's why I came to Seoul. I had heard a lot of praise for the book fair, and we are meeting with many agents who are introducing us to Korean publishers, and I'm also meeting with publishers. So this is 3 days of exciting meetings, and we also interact with translators. They are very precious. So that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Thank you for your interview. And in France, do you see any growing interest in Korean literature in your respective country? That's my next question for you.
It's been actually a few years since we have noticed that French readers are getting interested in Korean literature. Han Kang is also a very established author for many years in France, but I was the lucky publisher of Kim Yi-jin, another strong voice in a very prestigious house. There's a lot of interest for Korean comics. It's fascinating how the taste for Korean movies, music also nurtures appetite for Korean fiction.
Okay, in an era of artificial intelligence, we have a lot of content, short forms, and etc. But why do you think people still value books?
I think books are an escape. I think a good book captures you and somehow helps you stop the flow of current tragedies or tragedies that are too close to us. They help readers better understand the world they are in. So it's not only escape, it's also an opportunity for better understanding between people, between cultures.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and have fun at the fair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I think that's what makes this event even more fascinating. As you can heard, there is a growing interest in Korean literature from different countries as well. And here you will see a lot of younger generation people who are looking for, like I mentioned, adorable collectibles and goods and creative merchandise as well. So it's not just about the books, but it's also about the book-related items as well. So here, as the fair begins, I think one message stands out clearly. People are not just looking for answers, but they are searching for better questions. Reporting live from Seoul International Book Fair, I'm Yoon Se-young, and back to you, Soa.
Well, let's hope that the event will help make books cool again. And thank you for that wonderful reporting, Se-young. And what is also deemed cool these days is the Netflix series Teach You a Lesson, or 참교육, which we have been keeping a close eye on in our K-Enter segment in the last couple of weeks. So Walter is going to tell us more about its popularity, which seems to be growing and growing and growing.
It does, and it's week by week, and it's only new. So Teach You a Lesson has topped Netflix's non-English TV chart for a third consecutive week. The series recorded 11.8 million views during the week of June 15th to the 21st. It ranked #1 in 19 countries, including here in South Korea, Japan, and also Peru. And it's in its second week. It actually entered the top 10 in 91 countries. Now, starring Kim Woo-yeol, Teach You Lesson is based on a webtoon of the same name, and it follows a fictional Korean Educational Rights Protection Bureau, an organization tasked with restoring order to an education system undermined by disrupted students, also teachers and parents as well. Much attention has been on Kim Woo-yeol and his riveting performance as the main character, Na Hwa-jin. Now, interestingly enough, the drama has actually brought up real-life public debates in South Korea, with some viewers calling for a similar institution to be introduced in real life to address problems within the Korean education system.
Well, that's going to stir up some interesting discussion, maybe even at the government level, if you ask me. But Walter, next up, you have some news on a BTS member, Jungkook, who has broken a record or records, but not as a member of BTS, but as a solo artist.
Yes, incredible news as well. So BTS member Jungkook's solo single 7 has surpassed 3 billion streams on Spotify, becoming the first song by a Korean artist to reach that milestone. Now, it also is the only track released worldwide in 2023 to have achieved this. Now, the song's music video further underscored its global popularity, topping 600 million views on YouTube back in April. Now, upon 7's release, it topped the Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at #3 on the UK official singles chart, Top 100. The track has continued to show remarkable staying power, spending 153 consecutive weeks on Spotify's weekly top songs global chart and 152 straight weeks on Billboard's global excluding US chart, setting new longevity records for a Korean solo artist.
Well, good job to Jungkook. And another milestone, this time regarding Boy Next Door.
Indeed. So Boy Next Door has reached a new career milestone in the US with its first full-length album, Home. Now, the album debuted at the number 16 on Billboard 200, marking the group's highest placement yet on the main US albums chart. The achievement surpasses the group's previous best of number 40, set by its fifth mini album, The Action. Now, Home also posted strong results across several Billboard charts, debuting at number 1 on the World Albums chart, number 2 on the Top Album Sales chart, and number 28 on the Artist 100 chart. Now, the album has been popular here domestically as well, because according to Hunter chart, the album sold just over 1 million copies in its first week. The achievement makes Home Boy Next Door's fourth album to surpass 1 million sales in Korea.
All right, thank you very much, Walter, for those updates, and don't go anywhere.
I will.
And now we move on to our AI anchor, Arirang, for more on the culture front. Arirang.
Thanks, Sua. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. South Korea's foreign and culture ministries have joined forces to support the growth of cultural arts and creative industries in developing countries through official development assistance programs. The two sides also agreed to work together to expand the K initiative by harnessing Korea's cultural strengths and further promoting K culture abroad. Culture Minister Choi Hyung, noting that the government's ODA budget remains limited despite K culture's growing global influence, expressed hope that the partnership would help expand overseas cultural assistance and strengthen Korea's public diplomacy and international exchanges. Foreign tourist arrivals in Korea's southeastern city of Gyeongju in Gyeongsang-buk-do province are showing a marked increase. According to the city government, about 569,360 foreign visitors traveled to Gyeongju between January and May this year, up more than 18% from the same period last year. Officials attributed the rise to a significant boost in Gyeongju's international profile following the APEC Leaders Summit held last year. The city is also seeing a more diverse mix of visitors, with tourists arriving not only from East Asia but also from the United States, Southeast Asia, and Russia. Gyeongju plans to step up efforts to attract more overseas visitors through its post-APEC global tourism strategy. Pianist Lee Myun-chan has been named Instrumentalist of the Year at the Opus Classic 2026, Germany's most prestigious awards for classical music. The awards organizers announced that Im earned the honor for his recording of Goldberg Variations by Johann Sebastian Bach. German violinist Christian Tetzlaff and horn player Sarah Willis were also recognized as Instrumentalists of the Year. The Opus Classic Awards ceremony will be presented in October in Berlin. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
K-pop and K-dramas may have paved the way, but today, K-beauty has become a staple in consumers' daily lives around the world. Interest in Korean cosmetics and beauty trends continues to grow, including in European markets such as France. Today, we're joined by an expert who has settled in Korea and spent years introducing K-beauty to the global market. We'll discuss the current state of K-beauty and where it's headed in the future with today's Hallyu People guest, CEO of Aga Skin, Fama. Fama, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we're very happy to have you here. How about we start with an introduction of yourself and also what brought you to Korea and also what led you into the K-beauty industry?
So I'm originally from Senegal. I was born in Paris and I lived in New York for 10 years. So when I moved to New York is where I discovered K-beauty. So after I graduated in Paris, I moved to New York and that's where I discovered K-beauty for the first time. And I fell in love with the philosophy, the rituals, and fast forward to 2016, so that was back in 2008, 2010, 2016 was my first trip to Korea, and it just solidified my love for the industry. And that's when I was like, okay, there's something that I can do here in this industry to make really, because back then when I talked about K-beauty, people looked at me like I was crazy. And now, I mean, you see like 10 years later, it's just like crazy. And that's why I decided to come here and build a bridge between Korea and the global market.
Looks like you were clearly ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it does indeed. So you've been observing K-beauty for many, many years now, for quite some time. And I understand recently you actually visited London for beauty, like K-beauty, or just beauty-related reasons. How would you, in your own words, assess the current global status of K-beauty?
Yes, so I just came back from London, and we had a K-beauty event with 60 influencers where we introduced like 4 Korean beauty brands. So before, when we talked about K-beauty, it was all about a trend, right? So now K-beauty is really established as, it's not a trend anymore. It's something that's going to be here to stay, and we see it in the global retailers. And I think that as we move forward, we're going to see more and more K-beauty becoming mainstream.
So, speaking of mainstream, I think K-pop and K-drama was more mainstream in the past, but now clearly, as you said, K-beauty has established itself as one of Korea's representative cultural industries. So why do you think is the public or the global public so passionate about K-beauty?
I think K-beauty has shown that it's very efficient. Formulation, it's coming from Korea is always known as made in Korea. Now is a USP, right? It's, when we say made in Korea, we know it's quality. And let's also remember that most of the Korea has manufactured and still manufacture for one of the biggest global beauty brands. So now that they're making their own brands in Korea, of course the quality is going to be great. And I think one of the big part of making K-beauty popular is the rituals. So I think Korea has done such an amazing work with K-beauty in implementing routines. I think none of us had, I mean, us foreigners living outside of Korea, we didn't have routines, right? So Korea has done such a great job at implementing things like double cleansing, wearing a sunscreen. So those are things that were not something that we were doing outside of in the Western world.
So that would be efficiency, formula, and ritual with an extra stress on ritual,
exactly.
I guess. Okay.
Yes, and now, like when you grew, you spent some time in France, you grew up there.
Yeah.
So France has been obviously from outside looking in, has been regarded as one of the world's beauty capitals as well. It's like the romantic capital of the world. Everyone thinks about France. But how would you evaluate the current position and reputation of the Korean beauty industry in the French market? Do you get to go back to France quite often?
Yes, we do. So when we started entering K-beauty to Paris, we had our first K-beauty pop-up at Galeries Lafayette. And back then, K-beauty was seen as, okay, it's just a new industry, something interesting to dive into. But as we move forward, we're seeing that people are more and more interested because K-beauty is very different from French beauty. French beauty is more traditional, it's very minimalistic, simple. But K-beauty has this new side to it where it can be minimalistic but also cute, and it can be like very innovative with new ingredients that people never heard of before. So that's why people get drawn to K-beauty nowadays. And of course, I think that Hallyu has a lot to do with it. Like seeing all these celebrities with amazing skin, people want to have this skin, and they understand that they need to have a ritual, including those Korean skincare products.
So then, Fama, do you have any secret personal beauty tips to share? Any routines that you follow?
So the great thing about my job is I work with so many brands, and I get to discover a lot of new products, texture, ingredients, and I think even with the work that we do with the brands and the influencers and creators, people want to have this education on K-beauty, how to use products a certain way. So when we were in London, we were sharing tips about how to use toner pad in a sheet mask, into a sheet mask as well. So people were so amazed by that. So of course, I think in Korea, it's something totally normal, but over there it was like, oh my God, I never thought about that. So yeah, those are some of the tips that we're providing.
Toner pads.
It does show you have flawless skin, by the way. So, what do you think is the most important trend shaping the K-beauty industry these days? And how do you see global consumers' interests evolving as the time goes on?
So I think back then it was all about skincare. Then we moved into color cosmetics. Like right now, there's a huge demand into Korean hair care and also fragrances, which is something that we never thought of 5 years ago. But that's where it comes into. And I think also men's care, it's something that's coming into place. And seeing for the brands, like moving forward, what we're gonna have to see more is having brands more inclusive and diverse from the get-go. Because as the brands want to go globally and how K-beauty is getting global right now, we want to see more impactful, I would say, inclusivity and diversity in the marketing, in the collaboration, and in the products.
Men's skincare, you have to highlight that, Walter.
I do. As a male, coming from Australia to Korea, I did change a lot of my routines and looking after my skin because I came from an extremely hot country to another extremely hot country, to be honest with you. But when we talk about skin types, we talk about cultures, we talk about countries, climate, everything affects your skin in a certain way. And so habits, vary from country to country. You've traveled the world, you've seen how different it is. What do you believe K-beauty brands need to focus on most in order to continue growing in the global market?
I think for most of the brand is gonna be to focus on one market at a time, because it's gonna be really hard to try to cater to everybody at the same time. So really focus on one market at a time and build community, build education on the brand, on the products. And then from there, like I was saying, being inclusive and diverse from the get-go. So really from the production, the manufacturing of the product, really thinking okay, we decide to go to Latin America, we decide to go to Australia, and think of that from the beginning and include that in the production of the products.
Now, Fama, this is an impromptu question, but if you had one K-beauty trend to recommend to us right now, because we are on broadcasting every day, we have the lightings and things like that. So what would you recommend to us?
Trend right now in K-beauty, I would say, why not we're going into the minimalistic routine, skipping steps. So really sticking to building your routine with the basics. So which is to me double cleansing, toning, moisturizing, and your sunscreen. If you stick to that, you'll be good to go.
So the basics are always
the basics.
What matters.
Always stay to the basics.
Right, and also I guess because we put on a lot of makeup on every day, it's also very important. The cleansing process is very important as well. Yes, double cleansing. Okay, and finally, how long do you plan to keep your activities here in Korea? And also, could you share with us any of your future plans?
So I'll be here in Korea, to be honest, I want to say indefinitely, because my business is linked to K-beauty. And I always say, anything related to K-beauty, you need to be in Korea. I don't think it's possible to strive in this business without being here. So I'll be here in and out. We're also gonna do things in Middle East, in Dubai. I just arrived yesterday. So we'll be doing more activities. We're also launching the K-beauty Festival, which is gonna be a big festival that's gonna happen in different countries with my partner. We also gonna have the Agaskin box, and ultimately for Agaskin, what we want to be is the go-to for brands who want to go globally with their K-beauty brands. I'm very passionate about K-beauty. I love it, and I really want to see people enjoy it everywhere in the world. So,
all right, thank you so much, Fama, for sharing your K-beauty journey with us, and we wish you the best in your future career. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, Walter, as always. Let's not forget the double cleansing today.
Yes, indeed.
And see you later.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time. Keep diving!